Welcome, tennis fans, to what is undeniably one of the most anticipated, electric, and history-making showdowns of the 2026 Wimbledon Championships. If you clicked on this video because you saw the title, Live Alex Eala vs. Iga Świątek, Wimbledon watch free before it's taken down, then you already know the absolute frenzy surrounding this third-round clash. The demand to watch this match is off the charts, crashing servers and sending fans worldwide into a scramble for a front-row seat to history. And it is entirely justified. Today, we are witnessing a monumental collision of two entirely different tennis worlds, styles and narratives on the hallowed grass of the All England Club. On one side of the net, we have the unstoppable force, the defending Wimbledon champion and world number 3, Iga Świątek. On the other side, we have the phenomenal rise of 21-year-old Alexandra Eala, the 29th seed who is single-handedly rewriting the history books for the Philippines and Southeast Asian tennis. This isn't just a third-round match. This is a massive cultural event. Eala has just become the first player from the Philippines to reach the third round of a Grand Slam in the Open era, and she did by dismantling Maya Joint, the very same player who conquered Serena Williams in the opening round. Swiatek, meanwhile, is on a mission to defend her crown, surviving tough tests against Taylor Townsend and former finalist Karolina Pliskova. But Iga herself has admitted that Eala presents a real challenge on grass, citing the Filipina's unpredictable variations and tactical brilliance. The atmosphere is going to be deafening, filled with Filipino flags and the unwavering Polish faithful. In this comprehensive deep dive, we are going to break down absolutely everything you need to know about this blockbuster encounter. We will analyze their intense budding rivalry, having split their previous dramatic encounters in Miami and Madrid. We will dissect the tactical X factors that could decide this match, explore the emotional weight of Eala's historic run, and explain exactly why the internet is breaking trying to find a live stream of this spectacular showdown. Buckle up, because this is the ultimate preview of Eala vs. Swiatek. Let us begin by unpacking the extraordinary journey of Alexandra Eala leading up to this exact moment. To understand the magnitude of this third-round match, we have to understand the unprecedented weight on the shoulders of this 21-year-old phenomenon. Eala arrived at the All England Club not just as a participant, but as a genuine trailblazer. She is a 29th seed in the tournament, making her the very first Filipina singles player to ever be seated at Wimbledon. That alone is a staggering achievement. But Eala did not come to London merely to make up the numbers. She came to make a deep run, armed with a grass court game that has blossomed beautifully over the European summer. Coming off a spectacular semi-final appearance in Berlin and a title victory in Birmingham, Eala's confidence on this slick, unforgiving surface has been sky-high. Her path to the third round here at SW19 has been a testament to her mental fortitude and physical evolution. In the first round, she comfortably dismissed Mexico's Renata Zarazua in straight sets, dropping only 3 games in a ruthless display of baseline control. But it was her second-round encounter against Australia's Maya Joint that truly announced her arrival as a major threat. Maya Joint was riding the ultimate high, having just pulled off the upset of the tournament by defeating the legendary Serena Williams in a grueling 3-set battle. The Australian came out swinging against Eala, taking the first set 6-3 with blistering forehands and aggressive returns. In years past, Eala might have crumbled under the pressure of a red-hot opponent and the grand stage of Court 3. Instead, she dug deep, adapting her tactics with the poise of a veteran. Eala recalibrated her return game, started incorporating a highly effective serve and volley strategy to disrupt Joint's rhythm and cut out unforced errors entirely. The result was a devastating turnaround. Eala took the second set 6-2 and then delivered an absolute masterclass in deciding set, handing Joint a 6-0 bagel. This victory was not just a ticket to the third round. It was an emotional exorcism. A year prior, Eala had suffered a heartbreaking loss to Joint in the Eastbourne final, losing 12-10 in a deciding set tiebreak, a match that Eala admitted she cried over and couldn't bear to watch highlights of for months. Overcoming that psychological hurdle on an even bigger stage demonstrates the immense maturity Eala has developed. She is no longer just a promising junior. She is a hardened WTA contender capable of problem-solving in real time under intense pressure. And the pressure is palpable, largely because of the sensational crowd support she commands. The atmosphere on Court 3 during Eala's matches has been described as electric, resembling a Davis Cup tie more than a traditional, quiet Wimbledon afternoon. Hundreds of Filipino spectators have flocked to grounds, waving flags and wearing custom T-shirts adorned with the sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines. Eala herself has embraced this cultural representation, wearing a custom visor with a Tagalog phrase translating to, "Every dream begins as a seed. Once it grows, it cannot be stopped." In a country of over 100 million people that has historically celebrated boxing legends like Manny Pacquiao and gymnastics icons like Carlos Yulo, Alex Eala is fast becoming the undisputed face of Philippine tennis, carrying the hopes of the nation every time she steps up to the baseline. Now, she faces the ultimate test. Waiting for her is Iga Świątek, the Polish superstar, currently ranked world number 3 and the defending Wimbledon champion, remains one of the most formidable competitors of her generation. While grass has historically been considered Swiatek's least favorite surface compared to her sheer dominance on clay, her triumph here at Wimbledon last year proved that she has successfully adapted her heavy topspin game to the low-bouncing lawns. IGA's journey to the third round this year has been solid, if slightly complicated. She faced a tricky opening match against the serve and volley specialist Taylor Townsend. Swiatek dominated the first set, surprisingly dropped the second as Townsend rushed the net, but ultimately regained her supreme focus to take the decider. In the second round, she faced the dangerous power of former Wimbledon finalist Karolina Pliskova. Swiatek handled the Czech's massive serve brilliantly, neutralizing the power and completely dictating the baseline rallies to win in straight sets, 6-1, 6-3. But Swiatek is acutely aware that Alex Eala presents a completely different puzzle to solve. In her post-match press conference, IGA was incredibly candid about the threat the Filipina poses. She noted that she doesn't know Eala's grass court game very well yet, acknowledging that it will be a real challenge. Swiatek specifically highlighted Eala's variations, pointing out that the 21-year-old style does not allow opponents to find a comfortable rhythm. On grass, where the ball skids and stays low, Eala's ability to mix slices, utilize sharp lefty angles, and aggressively transition to the net makes her incredibly dangerous. Swiatek relies on timing and repetition to build her baseline dominance. Eala's entire game plan will revolve around disrupting that repetition. This brings us to the fascinating head-to-head history between these two athletes. This is not their first rodeo. In fact, they have built a compelling, high-stakes rivalry over the past year. During Eala's massive breakthrough run at the Miami Open, she stunned the tennis world by defeating Swiatek in a thrilling encounter, utilizing the humid conditions and slightly slower hard courts to drag IGA into grueling rallies. However, Swiatek, like the true champion she is, exacted a brutal revenge just a month later on the European red clay at the Madrid Open, overpowering Eala in the round of 64 with 6-4, 6-2 victory. That match in Madrid saw Swiatek relentlessly target Eala's backhand, using her massive forehand spin to push the Filipina deep behind the baseline. But grass is the great equalizer. The heavy topspin that Swiatek uses to bully opponents on clay and hard courts does not bite the same way on the lush courts of Wimbledon. The ball slides through the court, rewarding flatter strikes, early anticipation, and proactive net play, all elements that Eala has heavily incorporated into her repertoire this season. Tactically, this match will be decided by court positioning. Swiatek will try to establish her dominance by taking the ball early, hitting deep returns, and pushing Eala back to prevent her from stepping inside the baseline. Eala, being a left-hander, has a distinct advantage on the ad court, where she can swing her serve out wide, pulling Swiatek off the court and opening up the down-the-line passing lanes. For Eala to pull off this massive upset, she must serve exceptionally well. Her first serve percentage needs to hover around 70%, and she cannot afford double faults in critical moments. Furthermore, she must be courageous enough to attack Swiatek's second serve. If IGA is allowed to comfortably land her kick serves, she will dictate the ensuing rally. Eala needs to step in, take the ball on the rise, and instantly put Swiatek on the defensive. On the other side of the net, Swiatek's key to victory lies in her world-class movement and her ability to hit winners from defensive positions. If she can absorb Eala's early pace and extend the rallies, she can use her superior fitness and experience to grind down the younger player. Iga also needs to utilize her slice backhand effectively, keeping the ball low and forcing Eala to generate her own pace from awkward, low positions. The psychological aspect of this match cannot be overstated. Swiatek has the experience of winning Grand Slams, of defending titles, of knowing exactly how to handle the pressure of center court or court one. She has a dedicated sports psychologist on her team and approaches matches with clinical precision. Eala, while showing immense maturity, is stepping into uncharted territory. She is playing for herself, but she is also vividly aware that millions of Filipinos are staying up late, altering their schedules, and desperately searching for live streams to watch her play. The weight of national expectation can be an incredible motivator, as we saw in her match against Joint, but it can also be a suffocating burden if things start to go wrong early in the match. How Eala handles the inevitable moments of adversity against a player of Swiatek's caliber will define her performance today. This massive surge in national and international interest directly explains the chaotic nature of the video title that brought you here today. Let's take a moment to address this phenomenon. The broadcasting rights for Grand Slam tennis are highly exclusive, often locked behind premium cable subscriptions or expensive dedicated streaming platforms in various regions around the world. In the Philippines, the sudden meteoric rise of Alex Eala has created an unprecedented demand for live tennis coverage, a demand that traditional broadcasters are struggling to keep up with, and that many fans simply cannot afford. This has led to a massive gray market of unofficial, pirated live streams popping up across YouTube, Twitch, and various social media platforms. Creators use titles exactly like this one to capture the immense search traffic of desperate fans looking to watch their national hero in action. These streams are playing a constant game of cat and mouse with copyright algorithms, often mirroring the broadcast, altering the audio pitch, or hiding the video in a small corner of the screen to avoid immediate detection and being taken down by the networks. While we absolutely advocate for supporting official broadcasters to ensure the continued funding and growth of the sport, the sheer volume of people searching for these alternative streams is a striking testament to Alex Eala's star power. She is not just generating interest among hardcore tennis fans. She is capturing the attention of the general public, transcending the sport and becoming a mainstream cultural icon in Southeast Asia. When you combine a passionate, massively populous country looking for representation on the global stage, with a charismatic, highly talented young athlete challenging the established world order of tennis, you get a recipe for absolute digital hysteria. Every single point she wins is clipped, shared, and celebrated across social media instantly. This match against Iga Świątek is the pinnacle of that hysteria. It is a David versus Goliath narrative, except David has a wicked lefty forehand and Goliath is fighting to keep her hard-earned crown. If we look at the broader implications for the WTA Tour, this match is a fascinating look into the future of women's tennis. Iga Świątek has established herself as the dominant force of this era, but the tour is constantly evolving, and a new generation of players is rapidly closing the gap. Eala's success proves that world-class tennis talent can emerge from anywhere, provided there is dedication, proper coaching, and sheer willpower. Her time at the Rafa Nadal Academy has clearly paid dividends, molding her into a physically resilient and tactically astute competitor. As we inch closer to the first serve, the tension around the grounds of Wimbledon is incredibly thick. The commentators are dissecting every practice session. The odds makers are constantly shifting the lines, and the fans are securing their seats, whether in the grandstands of London or behind a glowing screen halfway across the world. Will Iga Świątek's championship pedigree and tactical discipline allow her to defuse the explosive game of the Filipina challenger? Or will Alexandra Eala ride the wave of unprecedented national support, utilize her brilliant grass court form, and pull off the most significant victory of her young, historic career? The strategic battle lines are drawn. Swiatek will look to dominate the baseline, bully Eala with heavy spin, and expose any nerves the young challenger might show. Eala will aim to disrupt, deploying her serve and volley tactics, finding sharp angles with her lefty forehand, and utilizing the slick grass to her absolute advantage. It is power versus precision, experience versus fearless youth, the pride of Poland versus the heart of the Philippines. This is what Grand Slam tennis is all about. It is unscripted drama of the highest order, where every single point, every breakpoint save, and every unforced error can swing the momentum of history. As we wrap up this extensive deep dive, One thing is absolutely certain. Regardless of the final scoreline today, Alexandra Eala has already secured her place in the history books and won the hearts of millions, reaching the third round of Wimbledon, battling through a field of the world's elite and standing toe-to-toe with the defending champion is a monumental achievement that will inspire a massive wave of young athletes across the Philippines and all of Southeast Asia. Eala has proven that the dream is real, that the seed has been planted, and that it is indeed growing unstoppably. For Iga Świątek, this match is a crucial test of her championship medal. Navigating past a highly motivated, tricky opponent on grass will send a strong message to the rest of the locker room that her title defense is fully on track, and that her reign at the top of the women's game is as secure as ever. The beauty of tennis lies in its unpredictability, and today's matchup encapsulates that perfectly. We have analyzed the stats, we have reviewed the head-to-head history, and we have broken down the tactics. But once those two players step onto the immaculate lawns of the All-England Club, all the analysis goes out the window. It comes down to execution, heart, and the sheer will to win. Thank you so much for joining me for this comprehensive preview and analysis. I know many of you are frantically looking for a way to watch the match live, and while I always recommend finding a reliable official broadcast to enjoy the pristine quality of Wimbledon, I completely understand the passion and the urgency that drives the search today. This is a moment in sports history you simply do not want to miss. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Eala versus Swiatek clash, please make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our extensive tennis coverage and post-match breakdowns. Drop a comment below right now and let me know your final predictions. Who is taking this match, and in how many sets? Will Eala shock the world, or will Iga march on? Enjoy the phenomenal tennis, stay passionate, and I will see you all in the next video for the complete post-match analysis.